Hi, Lavina. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
How are you? How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Good, good, good.
Can you hear me
So,
well? Am I audible?
yes, I can hear you. Yes. Is my audio fine?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great, great. Right. So, a very warm welcome to you, Lavina, on my channel. And today I'm really very grateful to you that, you accepted to come live with me and we can discuss a very important topic with our audience today. So, first of all, I would like to introduce you to the audience that Lavina was a seasoned corporate SAP professional for 10 years, and as they say that a parent is born with their child, and when Lavina gave birth to her son, she took a sabbatical from work. And now, after gaining that knowledge and experience while raising her son and understanding the psychology of human behavior, applying different techniques. So now she's on a mission to educate, to spread her knowledge and experience with parents to, which she has gained over her parenting journey, to empower parents so that they can accept themselves and their parenting, not through guilt but through love. So such a great mission you are on, Lavina, and I'm really very thankful for you. We need more people like you in our society so that we can help parents, we can help children to raise a better future generation. So, tell me something about your, journey, about your parenting journey, how you came onto this mission, and what all came to your mind when you started this mission of yours.
Sure. But firstly, I would like to thank you. Such a lovely and warm welcome from you, and such a beautiful introduction about myself. Thank you. I'm overwhelmed. And before we begin, I just want to say a very, very happy Children's Day to all of us. Somewhere within all of us, we do have that little child who wants to play, have fun, enjoy. But we keep ourselves that, what will others think? We can't keep
Yes.
ourselves to ourselves. हमें वो उस चीज को हटा के just enjoy yourself, So I think just that. Happy Children's Day to all of you and to
Happy
us as
Children's
well.
Day, all of you.
Happy
Yes,
Children's Day.
definitely.
Yeah. So to start with, as you have already introduced me, I was into SAP. I was a corporate
Hmm.
professional, and how I came about this parenting is when I started off. Uh, um, I had my own, issues. I would say I
Hmm.
had my own. मैं खुद ही जो थोड़ी थोड़ी चिढ़ जाती थी, जैसे ही मेरा बच्चा
Hmm.
कुछ पूछता था, आई वुड बी लाइक कि जाओ, डोंट डिस्टर्ब मी, स्टॉप क्राइंग, स्टॉप वाइनिंग. फिर एक दिन मेरा बच्चा आके मुझसे उसने मुझे कहा कि मम्मा मुझे आपसे ना डर लगने लगा है. And that was something, and he was just about 2.5 years old. And
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
was when it struck me ki, you know is it so, mera bacha, because of whom I feel that I'm on top of the world, because that's how mothers are, I
Right.
have my child. Yeah. उसको डर लगने लगा है मुझसे. That's when I thought कि नहीं, stop, I need to do something about it.
Hmm.
फिर मैंने काफ़ी I understood. I started doing a lot of meditation, a lot of
Hmm.
self help practices. काफ़ी चीज़ें मैंने की, मैंने सुना, मैंने मैं वीडियोस मैंने देखे, मैंने अपने आप को काफ़ी समझा, जाना.
Hmm.
तब
Hmm.
मुझे पता चला कि this is something which we all should somewhere give that pause, and
Hmm.
we need to go inward somewhere. और वो
Right.
मैंने देखा कि काफ़ी, मैंने अपने जब फ्रेंड्स से मैंने बातें की या मैं जब डिस्कस करती थी, व्हेन आई यूज्ड टू आस्क माय फ्रेंड्स, दे वुड से कि यार, आई रियली फील ओवरवेल्म्ड. आई डोंट नो वेयर टू स्टार्ट, आई डोंट नो वेयर टू एंड, आई रियली डोंट नो हाउ टू हैंडल माय चिल्ड्रन. So I thought that
Right.
this is something which is, we don't have any specific psychology है, no doubt सब कुछ है,
Hmm.
but एक specific, जैसे जैसे हर चीज के लिए इंजीनियरिंग डिग्री होती है, डॉक्टर के लिए डॉक्टर डिग्री होती है, बट माँ
Hmm.
पेरेंट्स के लिए कोई डिग्री नहीं होती.
कोई डिग्री नहीं होती,
कोई
एग्जैक्टली.
डिग्री नहीं होती. सो इट इज लाइक एज अ चाइल्ड इज बोर्न, पेरेंट इज ऑल्सो बोर्न. सो वो एक सपोर्ट सिस्टम मैं करना चाहती थी. आई वांटेड टू बिल्ड अ सपोर्ट सिस्टम जिससे हमें वी अंडरस्टैंड दैट कि पेरेंटिंग कोचिंग भी होती है, एंड यू कैन
Hmm.
ऑलवेज आस्क फॉर हेल्प. हेल्प इज
Right.
इम्पोर्टेंट. एंड देयर मेनी पीपल हु आर हेसिटेंट. बहुत लोग हैं जो हेसिटेंट है हेल्प के लिए, कि उनको लगता है कि नहीं,
Mm-hmm.
बच्चा मेरा है, मुझे सब कुछ जानना चाहिए. दैट्स द मिथ दैट वी वांट टू कम आउट ऑफ, कि नहीं, मतलब जैसे एक बच्चा पैदा होता है वैसे ही एक पेरेंट भी पैदा होता है. देयर इज नथिंग रॉन्ग इन लर्निंग दैट स्किल, एंड एज यू
Yes.
लर्न you get better at it. That's how my
Yes.
journey began into this parenting coaching.
Exactly. I completely agree with you on this fact that, there is no harm in asking for help. If you are facing a problem in certain area, be it any area of life, there is no harm in asking for help. इससे कोई छोटा नहीं हो जाता या कोई बड़ा नहीं हो जाता. It's just that sometimes you need that push in your life, and if you are getting it from an external source, then there is nothing wrong in it. So, an amazing journey you have, Lavina. I'm really inspired. And so, let us start with today's topic. And we are today discussing dealing with big emotions in childhood and how we can help our kids to deal with these emotions, how we can help them regulate these emotions. So, first of all, Lavina, I want to understand what is the importance of, emotions in early childhood.
Okay. I mean, importance of emotions is there at every stage of life, not just in early childhood. But to
Right.
begin with, yeah, but to begin with, hota kya hai that when a child is born, they don't understand emotions at all. For them, it's always a reflex action. Like when the child is born, of course, they start with a cry, but after a
Hmm.
few days, they start smiling back when you smile at them. When a caregiver or when a parent, that's the first connection that we have, a
Right.
parent and a child. तो जैसे हम उन जैसे we smile at them, they on the reflex action they smile back at us. So it is not like they understand ki what is that smile, what is happiness.
Hmm.
It is just that immediate action of the brain that gives
Right.
you instant smile. So when I would say, when a child is like 6 months old or a 7 month old toddler, when the child starts crawling, that is
Hmm.
when they start um, understanding their brain a little, very little part of the brain, that is the front lobal cortex. And that is when they start crawling, we try to stop them. कुछ चीजें
Right.
होती है जो हम उनको एकदम से रोक देते हैं कि इधर मत जाओ,
Hmm.
उधर मत जाओ. So the child, that's the first contact that the child has with the understanding of emotion of being scared. एकदम से
Right.
डरना, shameful होना कि ये मैंने क्या
Right.
कर दिया. Somewhere, though the child is not able to express it over
Hmm.
with their with their words, but they understand. They have that kind of a sense in their brain कि हाँ, there's something my mother and papa are stopping me. That means I'm doing something wrong. So
Right.
that is something which is called as the initial stages of understanding fear.
Hmm.
वो तब से शुरू होता है. एंड जैसे हम हमारा बच्चा जैसे थोड़ा सा बड़ा हो जाता है, अ चाइल्ड इज लाइक अ टॉडलर, फिर उसको वो
Hmm.
4 मेजर इमोशंस ही पता होते हैं.
Hmm.
हैप्पीनेस, सैड, ठीक है, एंग्री, एंड उतना ही 3 या 4 ही
Hmm.
वर्ड्स में पता होता है. व्हाई एम आई हैप्पी, व्हाई एम आई सैड, व्हाई एम आई एंग्री. ये 4 ही चीजें होती है जो उस बच्चे को उतना, व्हेन ही इज अ टॉडलर, 1.5
Right.
2 years के होते हैं. तो उस टाइम पे हम अगर उनको बताना भी चाहें कि इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ इमोशंस, उस टाइम पे उन
Hmm.
बच्चों को इतना समझ में नहीं आएगा जितना अगर हैप्पीनेस और सैड में ही समझ में आता है बच्चों को.
Right.
So it is very important for them to at least understand that it is not always happiness which
Hmm.
is needed. It is sometimes sad also. It is sometimes crying also. Even those
Right.
are a part of growing. That is how we grow. That is how we
Hmm.
take our first steps. जैसे बच्चे का first step crawling होता है, उसके बाद वो खड़ा होता है, उसके बाद वो चलता है. उसी तरीके से emotions भी धीरे धीरे ही बच्चों को आते हैं
समझ
and
में आते हैं. Right.
समझ में आते हैं. एंड एक चीज मैं बताना चाहूंगी कि जब बच्चा रोता है ना, स्पेशली द टॉडलर्स, जैसे ही हम बच्चे को बोलते हैं मत रो, इंस्टेड
Hmm.
ऑफ सेइंग कि इंस्टेड ऑफ इवन अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि वो बच्चा रो क्यों रहा है, वो जैसे ही
Hmm.
हम
Hmm.
बोलते
Hmm.
हैं ना मत रो, वो मत रो एक एक वो आदत बन जाती है हम लोगों की, अनइंटेंशनली, नॉट दैट वी आर
Unintentional.
इंटेंशनली टेलिंग आवर
Hmm.
चाइल्ड
Hmm.
नॉट टू
Hmm.
क्राई. जैसे ही हम उसको बोलते हैं कि मत रो, चुप हो जा, वो बच्चे को लगता है कि अच्छा रोना गलत है. And this can be formed at a very early age, even at 2 years old.
Mm.
Even at
Right.
the age of 1.5, 2 years old, the minute we start saying stop, stop crying, even before knowing why the child is
Mm.
crying, that automatically lets the child to understand that crying is not good. ये
Mm.
एक चीज है जो हमें समझनी चाहिए एज अ पेरेंट और एज अ
Right.
केयर गिवर. ये हम
I can't agree more to this, ये actually this is a conditioning only because बचपन से हम भी यही सुनते आए हैं, मत रो, ये रोने वाली बात नहीं है, इसमें कोई रोने की जरूरत नहीं है. So I think this is our conditioning of the brain that we are passing on to generation. So we need to stop and we need to learn that it is not anything with crying, but we need to understand the need and the want of the child. So
राइट.
that is there.
मैं एक पॉइंट ऐड करना चाहूंगी यहाँ पे. जैसे कि अब
Yes.
इन्फेंट रोते हैं, अभी एक 6 महीने का बच्चा रोता है, अब वो ना
Right.
एक्सप्रेस कर सकता है कि ना मैं भूखा हूँ, या मुझे गुस्सा आ
Hmm.
रही है, या मैं सैड हूँ, या मुझसे आप
Hmm.
दूर जा रहे हो, तो यू आर आई एम नॉट एबल टू हैंडल दैट सेपरेशन एंजाइटी. देयर आर लॉट
Right.
ऑफ थिंग्स व्हिच दैट 6 months old will not understand. These are
Right.
all a part of a big umbrella called emotions, but they
Hmm.
will not be able to understand. They
Right.
understand only when we are गिविंग देम दैट काइंड ऑफ अ प्लेटफॉर्म टू एक्सप्रेस. और जो वो 6 महीने
Right.
के बच्चे को हम गोद में उठा के उसको पैट करते हैं, उसको समझाते हैं, मे बी दैट चाइल्ड डजंट अंडरस्टैंड कि
Hmm.
माय मदर इज पिकिंग मी अप फॉर मेकिंग मी स्टॉप क्राइंग, बट he or she knows that the need is met. That
Yes.
emotional need to be met is very very important, starting from the younger age, and that
Definitely.
creates the basis of the emotions going forward in the child's life as well.
Right. 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 So, Lavina, like we have talked that when toddlerhood age comes, then the kid actually starts to feeling emotions, and when as of now he grows, he starts to feel different emotions, right? So why do they feel a lot of emotions? Like what is the reason behind this?
See, when the toddler age comes, when the child is 1.5, 2 years old,
Hmm.
up to 3 years, 2.5, 3 years is what we call
Hmm.
toddler. So
Yes.
that time the exposure is a little more. Like the child starts going to the playground. The child meets other more people than the parents. Previously, the caregivers are confined to mom, dad, maybe grandparents, maybe some one or two cousins if you're staying in a joint family. But as
Right.
the child grows, the child's world expands.
Hmm.
So they start going to the playground. They start playing. Maybe they are not playing with their peers, but they are playing amongst their peers. So
Yes.
there are children of the same age group, right? They are taking the ball from each other, either they are on the slide or something
Right.
like that. तो दैट टाइम क्या होता है कि बच्चे को जैसे कि एक डॉल है, दो बच्चे खेल रहे हैं, और वो एक बच्चे को डॉल चाहिए, वो खींच लेता है उससे, इंस्टेड ऑफ, बिकॉज दे डोंट अंडरस्टैंड द परमिशन, द शेयरिंग पार्ट ऑफ इट एंड ऑल एट
Sharing.
दैट टाइम.
Yes. Yes.
तो एक बच्चा खींच लेता है, राइट, एंड द अदर किड्स डजंट नो कि
Hmm.
अब मुझे क्या करना चाहिए. फर्स्टली द ब्रेन डजंट गिव यू दैट काइंड ऑफ अ सिग्नल. द फर्स्ट रिएक्शन ऑफ द चाइल्ड वुड बी टू क्राई,
Right.
right, immediately. Either the child
Exactly.
would cry, or the child would go running to the parents saying that she took my doll or he took my toy, right.
Right.
So that is something that the child will start understanding, that okay, when I am playing and somebody takes my toy, this is how I reacted. So now the perception of reaction starts forming in the child's brain. Okay,
Hmm.
that is how the child understands the reaction part of it. Okay, and then when when parents tell that okay, you're angry that the toy was taken from you, or you're upset, that is the time when the child starts understanding that okay, there are other things also. It's
Hmm.
just not cry. It's just not crying. There are other
Right.
words also. And that is the time when a parent, a mother or a father, has to make sure that the child gives name to the emotion. So that
Right.
is how they get the whole circle of understanding what exactly me when I'm crying. It could be not because just because I'm angry. It could be because I'm
Angry. Right.
sad also. It could be
Right.
because I'm upset also. And there are certain times that, the child might not know only how to react.
Mm-hmm.
राइट ऐसा होता है कि हमें पता ही नहीं होता है कि बच्चों को पता ही नहीं होता है कि मैं रिएक्ट कैसे करूं
React. Correct.
मुझे इस टाइम पे
Hmm.
एन एग्जांपल एनी एग्जांपल कि मैं गिर गया द फर्स्ट रिस्पॉन्स वुड बी कि द चाइल्ड स्टार्ट्स क्राइंग
Hmm.
समटाइम्स दे डोंट नो आल्सो कि मुझे रोना है दे आर जस्ट
Mm-hmm.
स्टैंडिंग देयर एंड इवन प्रोसेसिंग कि मुझे इस टाइम पे व्हाट शुड आई फील
Right.
that feeling of those little things, those crying, anger expression,
Mm.
that is how their world starts expanding. And we need, because that is the time that they are actually using words to express, we need to make sure that we enhance the vocabulary, right?
Right.
So instead of giving the name ourselves to that emotion, we actually have to try to get the emotions from the child. Like if your toddler is playing with the dog, and if they have
Mm.
a and if the dog started barking, and if the parent says, even before the child responds, if the parent says, oh, the dog is barking, what is happening is the child is not able to process that entire episode, what happened. We
Right.
automatically gave the response. So
Mm.
what we are doing is we are stopping the child's brain to even process what actually
Process.
went. Yes. And when
Yes.
the child comes and tells us something like,
Mm.
oh, this dog was barking, I felt scared. That
Mm.
is the time when the child understands that, okay, there is something that I need to be wary about also. So
Yes.
those four things that I said about, happiness, sad, angry, and shame, these four
Mm.
emotions now starts growing in the
Growing.
vocabulary also. It is
Right.
not
Right.
just
Right.
it is just not in those four
Mm.
emotions. So we start now expanding to other words as well.
Right. Uh, Great observations and great examples, Lavina, I must say. And so, Lavina, tell me, like, why can't they deal with these emotions themselves? Like, why do we have to teach kids about dealing with emotions or about controlling or regulating their emotions in a right direction?
Okay. Now let's go a little ahead. I mean, we spoke about infancy, we spoke about
Hmm.
toddlership. We also said that, the words, the vocabulary start increasing as and when they are into the
Right.
toddlerhood. हम लोग वही बात कर रहे हैं. But क्या होता है, like the child is about now say 3.5, 4 years. Let's talk about a middle schooler. Middle
Right.
schoolers, yeah. So when we have these middle schoolers, they have a lot of things going on, right?
Hmm.
And when we talk about, say, a child who is like, say, 6.5 years old, they have a lot of things to deal with now that they have started schooling, they have started
Hmm.
going to the playground, they have started interacting more, their peer connections are more. We have more
Hmm.
friends, we have built that, social circle of ours. It so happens that sometimes the child gets into the mode of, you know, I would say, not knowing how to handle certain things. That is the time when the child doesn't know that,
Hmm.
they might just go to the playground and somebody says something, instead of appropriately regulating that emotion, appropriately
Hmm.
understanding that emotion, the child might just use physical force, right?
Right.
Sometimes अगर जैसे if the child is there in the playground and somebody says something, so instead of appropriately handling those situations, the child might just push the child away, the other
Hmm.
child.
Right.
So yeah, so we are using physical force here, and that is why, because they do not understand, they have so much
Right.
going on in their own lives, in their own thoughts, that for
Hmm.
them everything is either black or white,
Right.
right?
And
So
these are actually age related behaviors also, Lavina.
yes,
Like
yes,
in this age, kids don't understand that this can be sorted out by talking or by other ways also. They just know that either it can be handled by crying or showing your anger, because parents generally try to show their anger when they have to, when they want to get their way. Right. So kids only understand how you portray those emotions to the child. So these
absolutely.
are all age related behaviors also.
Right.
So
So just to add a point, Neha, like you just said, the parents also are very play a crucial role here.
Hmm.
So what happens is, like, if the child comes and asks, and suppose we are upset for something, what
Hmm.
do? We generally push away our children. We just say, I'm,
Yes.
you can leave from here, all is okay. If the child asks something also to us, we
Hmm.
portray a picture of being fine all the time,
Fine. Yes.
right? So what is happening is, when we ourselves are not able to be vulnerable in front of them, when we are not
Hmm.
able to show those emotions in front of them, when we are portraying that, we always have to be in that state of happy, okay,
Hmm.
right? How will the child know? How
Right.
will the child know that, there is something which is beyond, something which, it is
Hmm.
okay to feel angry, it is okay to
Right.
feel upset, it is okay to feel sometimes not fine, is absolutely
Hmm.
okay. We are
Right.
portraying a picture perfect in front of everybody, because
Right.
we are scared, we ourselves are scared, but we are not
Hmm.
showing that off in front of our children. तो
Right.
ये जब पार्क में जाते हैं या किसी और के साथ मिलते हैं, एंड वी ओनली टेल देम दैट,
Hmm.
रोना नहीं है, राइट?
Right.
दिस इज अ कॉमन स्टेटमेंट दैट वी स्टार्ट ऑफ विद, रोना नहीं है, हैंडल कर लो, डील कर लो, बट हम उनको सिखाते ही नहीं है कि कैसे डील
सिखाते ही
करना है.
नहीं है. Exactly. That's the main point. We just tell them that you have to deal with it, but how we never teach it to them.
या सो अब जब हम सिखाते ही नहीं है, जब हम उनको बोलते ही नहीं है कि, टेक अ
Hmm.
टाइम, प्रोसेस दैट फीलिंग. अच्छा, आपको
Hmm.
गुस्सा आ रही है, 2 मिनट हम उस गुस्से को रखते हैं अपने पास और सोचते हैं कि हमें गुस्सा क्यों आ रही है. दिस इज वन ऑफ द वे ऑफ
Hmm.
स्टार्टिंग कॉन्वर्सेशन विद योर चाइल्ड, especially
Yes.
with these young children, especially with, 5 to 8, 8.5.
Hmm.
First thing is to redirect them. पहली बात तो, अगर हम उनको गुस्से में बोलेंगे ना, गुस्सा मत करो, गुस्सा क्यों हो रहा है, क्यों आ रही है, तो दैट इज एक्चुअली डिस्काउंटिंग देयर फीलिंग्स. तो हम उस
Yes.
फीलिंग्स को उनको प्रोसेस ही नहीं करने दे रहे हैं, हम उसको डिस्काउंट
Hmm.
कर रहे हैं एकदम से. वी आर सेइंग दैट, दिस इज नॉट गुड, स्टॉप इट,
Hmm.
स्टॉप गेटिंग एंग्री, स्टॉप गेटिंग अपसेट. So
Right.
this is not the way we deal with the emotions of a child. If a child is even feeling emotions, and if we are not able to tell them to process that feeling, they will not understand how to regulate themselves.
Yes.
And it is
Yes.
very
Definitely.
important at that point of time, when the child has any emotions, to redirect the child, redirect the child to a
Hmm.
place where they are calm, so that their
Yes.
brain processes that emotion.
Hmm.
Once the brain starts processing that emotion, that is when we can help them to regulate.
Regulate them.
And that is what
Exactly.
it is called, that how why children are not able to handle it is because we are not able to tell them how to regulate. And the
Hmm.
regulation comes slowly, gradually.
Hmm.
Only when you let them feel ki if you're upset, it is absolutely okay. That is one of the examples that we can try with them. When the child feels upset and they come to you, they say that, I'm very angry right now.
Hmm.
So what we say is, instead of saying that, okay, don't get angry, we can say,
Right.
okay, we can reflect their emotions. That is one of the things which we can help them to regulate. When we
Hmm.
reflect their emotions, saying that you are upset, would you want to tell why are you upset about, and what is the thing that we can do about it?
Yes.
So this is the way we can help them to regulate their
Hmm.
emotions and handle it. But
Right.
if we are only showing our emotions in the way of anger, instead
Hmm.
of hiding our emotions within anger, with a mask of angerness, and how is it that they will show their emotions, or they will be
Ye-
vulnerable? They will not
Yes.
be able to, right? Because they
Hmm.
for them it is like, सब सब कुछ ठीक है, मम्मा कह रही
Hmm.
है सब कुछ ठीक है, तो मतलब सब कुछ ठीक है.
सब कुछ ठीक है.
पापा से, हाँ, सब कुछ ठीक है, बट अगर सब कुछ ठीक है, तो फिर मैं इतनी अपसेट क्यों लग रही हूँ,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
तो ये चीजें
So,
हमें सोचनी पड़ेंगी.
since we are talking about parents, Lavina, some few techniques which if you can share, or some tips if you can share for parents, कि वो बच्चों को कैसे सिखा सकते हैं, how to deal with these big emotions in them.
Okay. See, first thing which definitely works is, especially with these small children, is when they are angry, please redirect them. Don't
Hmm.
try to, do start the regulation at that time, because they will not understand. It might blow up out of proportion. It might
Hmm.
turn into a huge tantrum, and it might also cause us as a parent anxiety. right?
Hmm.
Like I'll give you an example now. Suppose a child is 6 years or 7 years, or you take them to the mall and the child says, I want a chocolate. And you say that right now, no, we can't give you a chocolate. Okay.
Hmm.
I'm very angry. I'm very upset. I want the chocolate right now.
Hmm.
That's what a child says. And you stop getting angry. I will not get you a chocolate. This is it. You're going out of here. So, what are you doing? Instead of even making sure that the child understands the situation, you're aggravating the situation,
Yes.
right? We are not making sure that the child calms down. We are making the child go above the level of anger
Above the
and
limit.
irritation,
Yes.
right? So,
We are
that the
adding to the
best,
problem
we are
actually.
adding to the problem. So, the best thing would be to remove that situation completely. Take the child,
Hmm.
hold your child's hand, and say that let's go out and talk. Okay, if the child is not ready, or if the child is trying to push pull, or sometimes कुछ बच्चे होते हैं जो जिद में आ जाते हैं and they start lying on the floor, and let the child do it. ये
Hmm.
हमारे दिमाग में ये बहुत होता है ना कि okay, what will the people think, what will the
Hmm.
outsiders think, you know
Yes.
okay, we don't know how to handle our own children. ये सब जब
Yes.
दिमाग में आता है ना, तो या तो हम क्या करते हैं, वी गिव इन टू देयर टैंट्रम, या फिर हम
Tantrum.
उनको एक दो थप्पड़ मार के या थोड़ा सा डांट डपट के
Hmm.
वहां से ले जाते हैं. बट इफ द चाइल्ड इज डूइंग दैट, just look into the child's eyes very calmly and tell the child, let's go out, then we'll discuss about it. And even
Hmm.
when you go out, when you're at a safe place, when the child can throw the tantrum as much as they can, let them do it. Don't stop them. हमारी गलती सबसे बड़ी ये होती है कि हम उसको स्टॉप करने की कोशिश करते हैं. और
Yes.
जैसे ही हम रेसिस्टेंस करने की कोशिश करते हैं, द चाइल्ड गेट्स द फीलिंग दैट आई माई इमोशंस आर नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट.
Yes.
My feeling upset is not important to my mother or my father.
Hmm.
So that is the biggest technique, that first redirect. Once you redirect the child, then when the child is calm, you
Hmm.
do a role play with the child. Okay, today
Yes.
in the mall, you were there and you asked for a chocolate. I did not get a chocolate for you, and you got upset. Next time, if you get upset, this is how you can do. Ask mama, hold mama's hand, enact the problem.
Yes.
And if the child is a little older, you can
Hmm.
ask them to do a lot of breathing exercises, like take a deep breath, hold it for 5 seconds, and leave. Or you can try a balloon technique. Blow the anger into a red balloon. Think that the anger is in red and blow it. Blow your mouth as a balloon, and that's a red balloon, and that red balloon is bursting. So
Hmm.
burst the anger through your deep breathing also. You can try
Yes.
that. But if you're talking about toddlers, 2 year old, 2.5 year old, they will not understand anything. The best with them is to absolutely remove the situation, take
Yes.
them out of that situation, and hold them and come to their level and hug them. That is the only situation which is going to help your toddler.
Yes, amazing, amazing techniques you have shared, Lavina. These are actually going to help parents, who are dealing with these things. I would also like to add, like, we feel embarrassed when a child is throwing a tantrum, especially in public area, in a mall, and we feel like you said, या तो हम दो थप्पड़ लगा देते हैं या फिर हम मतलब जबरदस्ती करने की कोशिश करते हैं या फिर हम उन्हें वो चीज दे देते हैं which gives them a message that okay, this thing is working and I should throw more of it,
Oh yes,
right?
Neha, that is
And
absolutely true. So you are only, and then फिर हम बोलते हैं कि हमारे बच्चे सुनते नहीं हैं,
सुनते
हमारे
नहीं है
बच्चे, हाँ,
exactly.
हमारे
So
बच्चे
we
चिल्लाते
need to
चीखते तो हमें
compose.
देना पड़ता है.
Hmm. We need to compose ourselves first and not give into their tantrums and let them blow it out because I think that people who are watching you at that moment, they might have gone through that same situation a few years ago or they will go through that situation a few years later. So that doesn't matter. The most important thing is your child at that moment, at that point of time, and I think we should take care of that situation in a much mature way and not just get embarrassed by the behavior of the child, right?
There are a lot of things. I mean, when you tell the child, you are embarrassing me in public, or you're,
Hmm.
I mean, even if you're not saying it, if our actions portray that, What is going to
Yes.
happen is eventually the child understands that, my mother either understands only this way of
Hmm.
dealing with me, or
Yes.
secondly, anything that I do is not accepted towards my parents. So
Hmm.
there are two extreme things that can happen. Yeah, so the child will completely shut off, not express anything, like how we do
Hmm.
it in front of others. Like,
Yes.
we mask ourselves saying that, okay, everything is fine. But
Everything is
ultimately,
fine.
but ultimately we know what is going on in our
Hmm.
own lives. And if we
Right.
are not, and that is what either the child would do eventually, either will completely shut off, not
Hmm.
express at all, be very, be a different personality altogether in front of the public, and then start internalizing a lot of things
Hmm.
which is not good for the child. Of course,
Right.
I mean, for anybody, it's not good. Or the other way is the child might straight away turn into a different personality altogether by just throwing tantrums or just trying
Hmm.
to bully others. And that again can start a different episode altogether wherein the child can become a bully.
Hmm.
That this is how my things are
Yes.
met, this is how my needs are met. So we
Yes.
understand how we are actually giving the child two extreme situations. We are not trying to balance it. So
Hmm.
our main purpose is to anchor it, to bring them to the central place where they feel safe to express themselves.
Right.
And that can be done only when a parent understands that it is these emotions are a part of growing up.
Hmm.
Everybody has them, and it is completely okay for the child to have them.
Completely okay.
And
Yes.
child also understands that when my mama can get upset, when my papa has feels sad, feels it is okay for me also to feel it. Because
Hmm.
once you hit the rock bottom, this is what happens. There's a psychologist, Gordon Newfield. What he
Hmm.
says is, once you hit the rock bottom, right, once you hit the wall, once the anger, once the aggression hits the wall of futility, means
Hmm.
there is nothing beyond it. मतलब एक बार आपको गुस्सा आया and you are able to express it, and when you go beyond your anger, that is when you come back and anchor yourself. और जब तक
Yes.
वो गुस्से गुस्से को हम कंट्रोल करते रहेंगे कि नहीं, गुस्सा गलत है, डोंट गेट अपसेट, डोंट गेट एंग्री, the more we start doing this, the more our child is not hitting the wall of futility. And the less the
Yes.
child hits the wall of fatality, that means to say that there is no stoppage for that. You know, we cannot tell our child that, okay, now you have to, now you come back, now you anchor
Um,
yourself. We're not
yes.
letting them anchor themselves. We are either letting it
Hmm.
blow out of proportion, or we are letting it. We are stopping it even before the child processes it.
Yes, yes. So, amazing observations and, some great insights shared by you. So, Lavina, for the parents to understand it more better, uh, can we talk about the negative impacts of, suppressing these emotions in our children? Like, what can be the नेगेटिव साइड ऑफ हम जनरली बोल तो देते हैं कि गुस्सा नहीं करो, रोना नहीं है, या ये इमोशन नहीं दिखाना, या अगर आप अपसेट भी हो रहे हो तो भी कोई बात नहीं, उसे अपने अंदर दबा लो. बट what is the negative impact of one's personality when they grow up, if we are suppressing these emotions?
Very good question, Neha. और मुझे, I mean, I think most of us are aware कि हम ये देखते हैं कि ये मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज adolescence से लेकर
Hmm.
adulthood में it keeps carrying on. There are many adults and many adolescents and many teenagers
Hmm.
um, who are finding themselves in a place where they find that if I say something, it's weakness in me.
Hmm.
There is some problem in me. Okay. So
Right.
what happens is, if you tell the child, because they are in their formative years, ये 6 साल के बच्चे, 5, we are their prefrontal cortex
Hmm.
starts developing when they are, beyond, after 7.5 is something, slowly their prefrontal cortex, which is the cause of emotions, right? So that
Okay.
is where the emotions develop, the prefrontal
Right.
cortex. And if we keep suppressing that, if we keep telling our children that, don't get angry or don't get upset, what happens is when they start internalizing those thoughts,
Mm.
they they show up as a person who has to be strong every time, and that they might show a very different face in front of the public, but inside they might be giving rise to anxiety, depression, right?
Mm.
Schizophrenia. Okay.
Right.
I would like to bring in a psychologist called Gabor Mate here. He's a Hungarian psychologist, and what he says is that it is scientifically proven. It is proven now. I think it's a Lancet studies. I don't know the exact paper, exact study material, but it is proven that a child who was born at the time when there was some kind of a natural, no, national disaster like a war or
Mm.
something.
Mm.
They, if that child's emotional needs at that time are not met, I'm talking
Mm.
about children who as young as 2 years, 1 year, okay,
Mm.
as they grow up, they might be prone to asthma. Okay,
Okay.
it 95% of the cases, children whose emotional needs are not met grow up into an adults with either narcissistic personalities, okay,
Mm.
a person who's schizophrenic, person who
Okay.
has a lot of OCD. So I'm not a medical practitioner here, but
Mm.
I can tell you one thing that with the suppressed emotions, which of course there is a stage where the child grows up into an adult,
Right.
right? The child cannot stay a child all longer. They grow into adults. As they grow into adults, they will have a lot of commitment issues, relationship
Mm-hmm.
issues, a lot of
Right.
things that comes. It is just not
Mm.
related to saying the child might the person might be having stage fear or something. It is much deeper than that, which we
Mm-hmm.
sometimes unintentionally do not give importance to. Right? We feel that see, the problem with us as parents are we don't want our children to get upset. We don't want our
Yes.
children to get angry. Why? Because
Yes.
we feel that we cannot take that pain that our child is
Mm.
upset, or our
Upset.
child, yeah, our child is angry for some reason, or our child is not able to handle certain situations. So even before that child can understand what is going on in their own life,
Mm.
we give solutions to them.
Give so. Yes.
We give solutions.
Mm.
We jump to give solutions because we want to protect them from that hurt at any cost,
Yes.
right?
That is
If so,
completely, that is completely not good for the child, because when they are ready to face the future world, like it will be very difficult for them to handle that situation. Giving ready-made solutions to them all the time, uh, have them in their comfort zone, and they cannot come out of it in future times. So I think that's a great point which you have mentioned over here,
yeah,
that we try to protect them all the time.
every time. And what happens is when because we feel that we have already gone through that, so why should our
Hmm.
child go through that?
Yes.
But we
Yes.
don't
Yes.
understand that it is a part of growing. Emotions are a part of growing, and that's how they
Hmm.
get to self-regulate themselves, and that
Yes.
is how they will learn. But if you don't even let them feel what they are feeling, even if you stop them even before what they want to feel, if you stop them right there,
Hmm.
then it is like you are actually telling them that it's a perfect world.
Hmm.
It's a perfect world. We all are perfect. So when they go out, either college or work or anywhere, when they go out, they are not even. And if they get a setback, like suppose they're not able to clear an exam, a sixth
Yes.
standard child, a seventh standard child, they feel, they feel that okay, my entire life is wasted because I was not
Hmm.
able to clear an exam.
Right.
So, they feel like a failure because we have never let them experience that emotion, hit that wall of fatality, and come back and
Hmm.
anchor themselves. वो हमने सिखाया ही नहीं है, वो रेगुलेशन
Hmm.
सिखाया ही नहीं, और जब वो सिखाया ही नहीं है तो हम उनसे एक्सपेक्ट भी नहीं कर सकते कि वो
नहीं
लोग
कर सकते.
फेलियर एक्सेप्ट करना नहीं एक्सेप्ट कर सकते
Hmm.
ना. वी कैन नॉट एक्सपेक्ट देम टू एक्सेप्ट फेलियर व्हेन वी हैव नॉट टॉट देम.
Yes.
So ये चीजें बहुत जरूरी है that even if a child is 1 year old or 2 year old, let them feel their emotions. Don't
Hmm.
jump. we all are parents, we love our children, no doubt, all of us love our children. But
Yes.
the best thing that you can do is let them get anchored by themselves. That is very
Yes.
important.
That is very, very important. Some great, great insights and techniques shared by you, Lavina. I'm really inspired, and this is going to help a lot of parents out there, whoever is watching or whoever will watch this live session afterwards. They are really going to feel that, these things are really important to be addressed in time. And so if anybody has any question over here, you know,
Yeah,
if
if
they want
anybody
to
wants
ask
any,
something,
yeah.
they can, and we will be happy to answer their questions. S- Um,
इट वाज रियली नाइस नेहा आई थिंक ये टॉपिक बहुत ज़रूरी था जो
yes,
हमने ये आज टॉपिक लिया है इट आल्सो गिव्स अस दैट काइंड ऑफ पर्सपेक्टिव कि
yes,
ठीक है आई मीन as a child it's okay but as a parent as an adult we
hmm,
also can express emotions without being judged by
yes,
anyone. And that is very
yes,
important. I mean, we try to put a very brave face in front of everybody, and
hmm,
we don't, take that emotions. हर चीज हमें सोशल मीडिया पे जैसी दिखती है वैसी जरूरी नहीं है,
ऐसे नहीं होती.
तो
Exactly.
हाँ, या
Yeah, in the age of social media, where everything is open, the information is at hand on just one click. So, and people are talking about mental health and, showing your true emotions to people. So, अगर हम बचपन से ही इस हैबिट को डेवलप करेंगे, आई थिंक इट विल हेल्प अ लॉट ऑफ किड्स आउट देयर. एंड अगर हम पेरेंट्स को अभी से ही अवेयर करवाना शुरू करेंगे, then it will help them to make their kids understand कि it's okay to not feel okay at times. And and how to deal with those emotions is most important. So this is actually a very great and important thing which we are spreading over here. So okay, I don't think anybody has any question over here. So we can end our live. Thank you so much, Lavina, for coming over here
thank
and sharing
you,
your knowledge and
thank you.
experience with us. And I will post this as a video on my feed. And you if anybody wants to check this out, they can.
Yeah,
And
and you can
please
also drop
do.
in your comments, and if you
Yes,
have
definitely.
any questions related to how to deal with emotions, or there's a
Hmm.
lot that we can share with you, you can always
Yes,
drop in a message, and we'll be happy to help you out there. Thank you,
yes,
Neha. I had a
definitely.
wonderful time. I really
Same here,
enjoyed the
same here.
conversation, and hope you have a good Monday and enjoy your week.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Happy Children's Day, everyone, and bye
Happy
bye.
Children's
Thank
Day. Bye
you.
bye. Bye bye.